Great greetings, guys. How you doing? Right, good evening. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. Good evening. I know a bunch of you guys were watching us over on the podcast just before we came live here. We just about hit 500 subscribers over there, so thank you for everyone that subscribed. We really do appreciate it. Tonight I'm forever working on these damn terminators, but let me know in chat what you are working on if you are in the house and you're doing some hobbying tonight. We always do some hobbying on Thursdays and Saturday nights. Evening Tony, evening Sean, Lord Losargic, Oscar, Left-Handed Texan, Rezio, what is up, Toasty Devil, hello. Yeah, I feel like I've been painting these terminators for forever, but that's where we are. I am going to be continuing. Someone said to me after the last stream, or someone left me a comment saying like, put some washes on the terminators, and I was like, yeah, I will, as soon as I'm finished all these damn base coats. They seem to be taking me literally forever. I think this is probably about the 10th time on this 10th stream on these terminators. They have a lot of details on them, so yeah, don't worry if you think that I'm not doing any shading or washing or basing. It's all coming, I'm just not there yet. I'm still putting on base coats, and sometimes with these base coats, like in the joints around the Terminator armor, you know, like in the elbows, in the knees, all those sort of joints, I tend to do 2 coats of that of like the Mechanicus standard grey in there. So I'm I'm nowhere in these terminators. All these joints here that I'm talking about, like this sort of joint, I would put another coat. Let me see if you can see it properly. These sort of joints in here, behind the knees, all this nonsense. These things as well, they definitely need a second coat of paint. They do not have full coverage, so these terminators are literally taking me forever. But it's fine. I guess they'll look good when they're done, right? So Rezio I just got through watching you get increasingly delusioned when hearing about New Eldar. Brutal. Yeah, New Eldar are going to be good, eh? We're going to fight New Eldar on Monday night. Yeah, we've got Kev bringing an Eldar list. He's actually playing on the Plastic Crackheads channel tonight, I believe. Playing as New Eldar. Up against the ramshackle, the Snakebite Orcs list that I played Brett with on Monday night. So I think that's what's happening on Plastic Crackheads tonight. I feel like the Eldar Codex is strong enough for Kev to get the win, but I guess it depends, because Brett can be quite he can be quite good with those orcs. He got a little bit greedy in our gaming on Monday night, but I had some plans against the orcs. Like, I knew he was going to get, like, when you're set up like that against orcs, you kind of always know that they're going to make turn 2 charges, so you have to sacrifice some things in turn 2. And I sacrificed my eliminators and my incursors pretty much to keep all the Vanguard veterans alive, or a good number of the Vanguard veterans alive, and it paid dividends. Once we got Unleash Rage cast on the Vanguard veterans, they started to go to town in turn 3, and it was one of the big swings in that battle. So yeah, sometimes it's okay to lose units as long as you have a plan of the units you're going to lose. And, you know, I gave away my weakest units in terms of, like, well, I gave away the units that were going to be weakest in turn 3 through 5 and kept it alive, some really strong units. So yeah, it was a fun game against Brett, but yeah, Ramshackle Orcs can be pretty gnarly. Like, Sanguinary Guard do not do any damage against them. Oh shit, my daughter's up. 1 second. Sorry, I just look up in the baby monitor. She's totally silent and she's just like rolling out of bed. I should be good now. Cool. Working on a Sicarian Venator, says Sean. Which is the Venator again? What guns does it have? I don't have any Sicarians, actually. I am kind of tempted to get one. I mean, I'm tempted by a lot of stuff on the Forge World website, right? Anthony Brown says, just finished an Incursor squad. I'm debating picking up Blade Guard or Interceptors next. Well, both are good. Inceptors, I think, are probably the weaker of the two in terms of, like, just finding their place inside a Blood Angels list, right? I suppose it depends if you want to run Inceptors as, like, your fire support. The only reason I don't run Inceptors myself is, like, I hate plasmas, man. I hate that the fact that you need, you know, those rolls of ones will kill your own models. Like, if they did a mortal wound to your own models, I'd be okay with it. But the fact that they kill your own models, I just hate it. It's probably one of the reasons that I don't really run Massive Doom anymore since they changed it, because knowing my luck, I'll just end up killing my own models. Whereas before, when Massive Doom was just like one of your models took a mortal wound, you could shrug it. I never really cared so much. Dave Cook has also painted these special Blood Angels Terminators, and they took eons. Yeah, I hear you, Dave. I'm working on it. I really am working on it. My problem is I actually have like another 15 or so of these guys. All built, all sprayed red. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I have the willpower to move on to another squad of 5 right after I finish this squad. But I mean, I will get to them at some point. These guys have just taken me forever, it feels like. Oscar has just finished 5 Sanguinary Guard, made custom jump librarian with technically 6 wings and a Dante. 6 wings? You definitely really wanted this librarian to fly, huh? How do you even make one with 6 wings? Like, where all did you stick the wings to? How is that even possible? Hello, Anthony. Good evening. 2 Anthonys in chat. My Elder list is definitely better than Mark's boring one. It has the big neutron laser. Oh, cool. Good evening to Hit the Wound. How you doing? It's been a little while. Hope you're well. the neutron laser is very much like the laser destroyer, huh? I think it's probably a pretty... Well, I mean, I don't think probably. It is a pretty cool variant. Have you used it much in battle? Like, do you feel like it's been valuable for you? Because I don't know. I mean, I've looked at Sicarians a bunch of times. I was thinking, I think the next Forge World tank I get is probably going to be a laser destroyer, just because I don't own any of those, and I think they're generally pretty good. But I mean, in some ways, I guess they're kind of similar to the Sicarian, right? The Sicarian probably has a better save, and the laser destroyer has better toughness. The laser destroyer is a little bit cheaper in points, I think, and also doesn't have martial legacy, which is nice, I guess. Command points can be few and far between, or can be very valuable, and sometimes when you have to take Forge World stuff that eats up a ton of your command points, that can be the big drawback to the Forge World stuff, I guess. Sometimes you just want a lot of command points, right? Greetings, Camille, how you doing? Do you think assault squad of Terminators would be worth it if I have Tartaros Terminators with claws? You mean as well as in like running 2 squads of Terminators? Or you mean instead of? Because I probably don't... Like, I've thought about running 2 squads of Terminators, but I think it's honestly too much. I think they're too slow. I mean, they're durable. They're arguably the most durable thing we can run, I guess. But they are super slow, so like that's my concern around Terminators. That's why I only run 1 squad of them, right? The slowness has to be factored in. Oh, you're still building the Sicarian. Okay. Alright, well, yeah. I mean, once you've played it, let me know how you feel about it, because I'd be interested to know. I do think a laser destroyer is definitely on my wish list, though. So I used 2 wings from the Death Company blocks, the tiny ones, then used that flag top with a chalice and wings, and then he's got a sanguinary wings and jump pack. Okay, he does have 6 wings, Oscar. Nice. When will the painting competition stream be? I'm eager to see all the subs and the models. I started putting the slides together last night, Camille, because I'm going to have to basically make a slideshow of all the entries, because I don't want people... I don't want the judges to know the names of the entries. And like, I started on it last night. I spent about an hour on it, and I'd managed to do like, let's say 20 slides or something, and that was like 8 entries. So I was hoping it might... I was originally thinking like maybe I could do next Saturday. Like Saturday the 26th, but I'm gonna have to see after this weekend if that's still realistic, because like I don't know if I have enough time in the weekend to get all the stuff together. You know, I usually try and do a lot of like family stuff on the weekend, so yeah, like my wife's very good. She lets me work on like the YouTube channel on my evenings, so like the weekend's kind of like family time. So we'll see. Probably a Saturday night. I say it's gonna be 50-50 if it's gonna be this week's. Well, it's not gonna be tomorrow or like in 2 days time. So it's 50-50 if it's gonna be the week after. If not, it'll be the week after that probably. But I want to say, I think like I only used that email address for entries to the painting stream, and there was about 80 entries total. So quite a lot of entries. Do you think the option of the teleport homer is very worth it? The teleport homer is a weird one. Some games you'll get value out of it, some games you won't. Is it worth 5 points just to have it? I'd say yes, but you're definitely gonna have games where you just don't get any value out of the teleport homer, so you need to be prepared for that. That like, yeah, sometimes it'll be good for you, sometimes it'll have no value. I mean, sometimes you run infernal pistols or multi-meltas in an army in certain places, right? And sometimes they have no value, so you just have to be prepared that sometimes the teleport homer is not going to do a whole... Yeah, there's some games you're just not going to need it. Some games it's not going to make sense, but I think it's worth 5 points. I just got back into painting my army again, on the fence of selling off my Blood Angels, unsure if I should hold on to them or not. Well, I mean, you're kind of in the wrong place, brother, because, you know, Blood Angels is what this channel is all about. I do intend at some point to start a second army or play some second armies. But right now, I mean, the channel focuses Blood Angels. I think, although we're not as strong as maybe some of the other books right now, you know that always shifts, right? You're weak for a little while, and then you're strong when a new release comes out. Will we get a new release that makes us strong again? 100%, you can guarantee it. It's just a matter of time. So, I mean, you know, think of it that way, that there will 100% be a release that makes us strong again. And when we get strong again, we'll probably be pretty strong, right? Because that's usually how it goes. Usually everybody will get a release at some point that makes them pretty strong. Look at, you know, all these new codexes have had a little time in the spotlight, you know, like Admech, Tau, Custodes. They've all had their little hurrah, or whatever you want to call it. It won't be long before we get ours again. Those Tyrannids are going to eat us up with the new book. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for a little while, but I mean, there's rumors of the new Space Marine Codex 2.0 or whatever they're calling it, so I would hang tough and be ready, because at some point, you know, I'm sure we will get a book that makes us strong again. I can sense John beginning to fall out of love with Terminators. Reziel, no. You didn't. Did you watch the game on Monday night? There was 1-up saves against the orcs, keeping me alive. Keeping me alive. If anything, I want to paint more Terminators. I just do not have the time, honestly. Well, I mean, when you've got a shitload of orcs, what was it, 40 attacks? 40 attacks coming in at -1 AP, when you get to save on 2s, you can't really argue with that. Yeah, no, it was 40 -1 attacks, but you can save on 2s. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, I categorically believe if that had been like Blade Guard, I would have lost a bunch of them, but the Terminators, we only lost 1. But yeah, situational. You're not always going to just find things that do -1 and -2 AP, right? But when you do, I guess that's when the Terminators will shine. Sorry. Plus, Riziel, how can you hate these models? They're literally some of the nicest, but are they the nicest Firstborn squad? In terms of, like, just how cool they are with all the little bits and bobs that they come with in the kits? I mean, they're very nice. I'd love to bring a Stormraven more. I think most players would love to see some sort of changes to Space Marine armor, right? Like, there's something has to change. Our armor isn't that strong. Our flyers really aren't strong. Yeah, I think something has to give there. So I guess I'd hope we'll see some changes. It's hard to say exactly what we might see, but I really hope we'll see some changes to armor and flyers to give them a bit of viability in 9th, because I feel like right now they really don't have any viability at all. What codex is going to be next after Tyrannids, I guess? And I was actually thinking about this a little bit today, right? Like, because one of the things that I've looked at recently is like the Black Templars Codex, because, you know, I heard it was strong and I wanted to look at like basically why is it so strong. And Black Templars get some really cool stuff, right? And one of the coolest things they get is like they can basically give their entire army a 5-up invuln. So all the Space Marine stuff that we know and love, everything that's in Codex Space Marines, but you can give it a 5-up invuln. So I guess you can get like aggressors with a 5-up invuln. You could have a Land Raider with a 5-up invuln, I believe. You could have a repulsor with a 5-up invuln. I mean, we never see repulsors, but if they automatically have a 5-up invuln, then maybe repulsors are actually okay as a model, right? So I was looking at the Black Templar Codex and I've been thinking for a while, like, how could they possibly make Space Marines more balanced or more competitive? And one of the things I was thinking was like, you know, the Black Templar vow system, almost like a Space Marine, almost like an expansion to Doctrines, might be a way that they could release a Space Marine Codex and actually make all the Space Marine factions kind of good again. You know, like, if you think about, like, Dark Angels having their inner circle, like, that's one of the things that makes them really strong. And obviously these Black Templars have, like, vows that can essentially make them really strong. So maybe Blood Angels just need some sort of vow mechanic. You know, like, a couple of options that you can basically invoke just before the battle starts that give you, like, I guess it's like an army-wide / battle buff, right? You know, because the vow that the Black Templars get, they get one where, like, it's basically a mini transhuman, so they can never be wounded on rolls of 1s and 2s, and all their stuff gets, I think it's everything in their book, I could be wrong here, someone that's got the Black Templar book, please feel free to correct me. I think is you can basically give your an army-wide, you can never be wounded on 2s, or 1s and 2s, right, or rather, and you can get a 5-up invulnerable save, and to do that, what you have to give up is you don't get the benefit from cover anymore. So you don't get like +1 to your armor save and cover. But, you know, giving a 5-up invulnerable save to stuff like Redemptor Dreadnoughts or Chicken Dreadnoughts or hell, any armor could actually be way more valuable than not getting a +1 in a cover save, right? I'm struggling to make a single video that I'm happy with. Your production rate and quality really impressed me, bro. How do you keep from being nervous? Practice, Living Ghost. Do you have a YouTube channel, do you? What you need to do is you need to, like, basically not worry about what people are gonna say. Not worry about any of that. Just start putting out videos. It doesn't matter how good or bad the videos are. You know, your videos will get better the more you do it. I think they need their doctrines built in instead of rounds in special circumstances. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something that we need, like, better control of the doctrines, because quite honestly, I would quite happily sit in Assault Doctrine for the entire game. Like, I don't really need to be in Devastator Tactical, for me anyway. You know, I very rarely do any damage in Devastator or Tactical, so I'd rather just be in Assault Doctrine from turn 1. If you could do that army-wide, that would help a lot. And then, sup Dracula, how you doing? Yeah, and then the other thing, Living Ghost, is like, just, yeah, don't worry about what people are gonna say, right? Because, like, I occasionally get comments on this channel saying that, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, you know, I can't play Blood Angels, you know, you're gonna get comments like that. You just have to just rise above them. If that's what someone really wants to do, or if that's what someone really wants to say, then let them say it. Like, don't let it impact you. You know, if you want to make videos, make your videos. You know, haters gonna hate, I guess. Isn't that the song by Taylor Swift, like, Shake It Off? Yeah, just, you know, no matter what you do, someone's not gonna like it, right? You're not for everybody, but just embrace that and just do what you want to do. That would be my advice. Whether it's good advice or not, I think it is reasonably decent advice. I've actually just recently started trying to build a YouTube channel for my wife, or help her build her channel. And, you know, like, the very first video we did, she didn't want to be on camera at all. She's super nervous. But a few more videos down the line, you know, it's just practice, man. Same as anything in this life. You're not going to get good at it if you don't practice, I guess. Think of your painting. Think how good you were at painting when you first started. And think where you are now. You know, you got to practice. Terrence, elbow cough. What does elbow cough mean, Terrence? I'm not sure what that means, sorry. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna play Eldari on Monday night. I think I'm gonna play Drukhari the week after. And then maybe the week after that I'll go play Andrew. Andrew's like desperate to play me with his Tau again, and I'm like I mean, I'll play him, but like at the same time, to me it kind of feels like a pointless exercise. Tau have an answer for like everything we can do, it feels like. I suppose I did beat him once. I did beat him right after the new codex came out, but like I guess that was kind of a dumber list that had like what did he have in that list? He had like 3 storm surges, which people didn't think was a strong list, right? Reziel says, why do people think Blood Angels Terminators are good when Dark Angels Terminators just die? I mean, everything dies. You know, everything's gonna die at some point. Dark Angels are actually like, if you look at like 40k stats right now, Dark Angels are they the highest? Maybe after Black Templars. Like in terms of Space Marine strength, I think it'd probably be Black Templars, then Dark Angels, then... I'm just talking about ones that have got their new codex. So the ones that have got their new codex, I think, in terms of strength, would be like Black Templars, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, then us at the bottom of the pack, I think. In terms of like raw strength based on your new codex, I think that's... based on like tournament results and stuff. If you look up, like, if you Google 40k stats and you look there, that's pretty much what you're gonna see. My brother and I are planning a Tau list together, and we're making our own sept. Nice. Tau sept are pretty strong though, if you aren't making your own one. I think the Montca thing that they have for Tau is maybe a tad too strong, but it'll be interesting to see when the points cost change come. Like, I guess Tau and Custodes are going to get sort of the same as what happened to like AdMech. Like most of their models will get like a 10 or 15% increase. I don't see how they can not get that increase. I also do think the increase for Redemptor Dreadnought was super harsh. I'm sure some of you guys have heard me complain about that on Discord or whatever, but I don't think Redemptor Dreadnoughts really needed to move up in points. I think they were just fine at 100, 185 or whatever they were. It seems obsessive. Yeah, it seems kind of obsessive to put them up in points. Would have the ability to successor chapter abilities for individual units be good? I mean, successoring individual units, yeah, I mean, it could be good. Of course, I guess it could potentially be good, but does it fix our overall problems? I don't know if it does. Dark Angels aren't the highest for sure. Black Templars, I think White Scars are hitting okay, and Deathwatch. Let's check. 40k stats. Right. I guess Grey Knights are highest. 59% win rate. Deathwatch 48%. Space Wolves 49%. So Space Wolves are actually better than Deathwatch. And Black Templar is also 49, slightly behind. Salamanders 48. White Scars down at 45. Dark Angels at 44. Okay, Dark Angels are lower than I thought. Blood Angels down at 39. Raven Guard at 39. Imperial Fists are the worst. Well, we knew that anyway, right? Imperial Fists just are the worst. 35%, man, that's harsh. Their chapter tactic is worse than ours, though, I guess. Like, way worse. Yeah. So, I mean, if they're aiming for a 50% balance rate, they got work to do, right? I honestly, I knew Space Wolves were good, but I didn't realize they were 5% above Death. I didn't realize they were 5% above Dark Angels, sorry. We can all agree Imperial Fists suck. Yeah, I mean, they just don't. I mean, we complain about our characters. Imperial Fists have they have like a bad chapter tactic, and they have like one special character to choose from. Is it, or maybe is it two now? Did they get a Primaris character last edition? It's not great to be an Imperial Fist player right now, I guess. So I'm actually putting a second coat of paint on some of these bits now, which is nice considering how long I've been spending on these guys. I always feel like what green is? I think this is this Warpstone Glow? I think they changed the name of it. Yeah, Warpstone Glow. I feel like you always need to put multiple coats of Warpstone Glow. If you're doing it over red, Mephiston Red, or as I use Evil Sun Scarlet, I feel like if you want to get good coverage of Warpstone Glow, it's always a 2-coat job. Sometimes even 3 coats if you're doing like these sort of wreaths and stuff, just because you got to get into all the little details. Nid, not mid. I think the reason. All right, Rezio, let's read this seriously because you're very adamant about these Terminators. All right, it's like stop the music for a second. We gotta take this super seriously. Gotta read out Rezio's justification for this. Because otherwise it's just going to go on forever, this argument. So it needs to be put to bed. The only reason I am adamant about Terminator's thing is because the idea is to be competitive as possible, or maybe I'm on the wrong page. I like all units in specific context. Yeah, to be competitive as possible. I mean, I only play competitive, really. I want to be competitive. But then, you know, like, I am a number one player in the world or anything, right? I guess that's maybe the problem. That we maybe... I mean, I think I'm above average. I think I'm a good player. But, like, I don't typically... Well, yeah, I guess I would say I don't often win tournaments because I've never won tournament. Good evening, Robert. How you doing? I don't... You know? So, like, maybe that's the problem here, is that I've tried. I like Blade Guard veterans. I tried to get them to work in my army for... They did work for a long time, you know that? And it's only since everything started sort of like... Everything in the meta started getting that much stronger. And then I started having problems making my Blade Guard work, I guess. I'm just trying to put the tiniest little bit of warpstone green back into these eye sockets. God, I hate painting eye sockets. I'm mainly a crusade player, like my narrative army. Yeah, I mean, by all means. Maybe one day, you know, maybe one day when I have actually won a tournament and I can like rest in peace because I've won a tournament, maybe we'll make a crusade on the channel or something like that. But I guess until I've won a GT, I'm focused on being competitive and trying my darndest to win a GT, I guess. And I want to go to a GT later this year, and I'd like to do well, I guess. I think 9th edition competitiveness has moved way past toughness as saves. It rewards movement and tricks. I mean, sometimes I would agree with... I'd agree with that to an extent until you play those fucking orc buggies that just kill marines with indirect fire that's minus 3 AP, or you play against Tau and they kill you indirect fire even if you're in cover as well. Sasbo says, just won my first game as a player as a Blood Angels, 78-30 against nuns with guns. It was a 650 point shooters game. Well, congrats on winning your first game. We don't often hear the Sisters of Battle be called nuns with guns, but I guess it kind of rhymes. Congrats on that. I always fully support the idea of dropping Blade Guard necessarily. It's not an issue. I mean, I guess my problem is I like the Blade Guard, right? Like, I like their survivability, I like their extra wounds, I like that they get more attacks. Like a 5-man squad of Blade Guard they get more attacks than a 5-man squad of Sanguinary Guard, right? I mean, it's just one, but it's still more. And also, the other thing about the Blade Guard, I like their leadership 9, I guess. It kind of annoys me that Sanguinary Guard are only leadership 8. Like, considering how easy Sanguinary Guard die, I think they should have had leadership 9, especially at 32 points per model. It's crazy how expensive they are. A lot of points to lose if you fail a leadership test because they just get picked off very, very quickly with guns. Yeah, they're a little bit more survivable in melee because they're -1 to -1 to be hit, but like, it's minor. You know, normally when your Sanguinary Guard are dying in melee, it's not to like 1 or 2 attacks. They're usually getting overwhelmed, charged by like a whole squad, and like, people like to focus on Sanguinary Guard in melee. They know how strong they are, so they like to take them out. Usually my Sanguinary Guard get overkilled. Sisters are kind of a pain to deal with. Sisters are a good army. I like them. I don't know how they play at 650 points, but at 2000 they're good. Possin Reezer Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Good evening. I was just about to call it a day and I stumbled upon a BA painting stream. I guess that's a sign I need to finish my tap bikes. Good evening, Paulson. If you're new here, then please consider subscribing. I do a lot of content on YouTube, actually. Almost at 10,000 subscribers over on YouTube. But, you know, we do a bit of painting here on Twitch. And occasionally we do live. Well, I say occasionally, it's pretty much every Monday now we do a live game. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Do consider subscribing if you want to see Blood Angel stuff. And I hope your tap bikes go well. I have a bunch of tap bikes, you know that? I kind of haven't been running them because of the changes to engage in all fronts, but I'm so married to them. If only my locomotor weren't so big on indirect fire, having to slog it up the map is rough. You're married to what? The Terminators or the Blade Guard? Sometimes your meta can just have a lot of indirect fire in it. I know I've been in that situation before. My video tomorrow, actually, because I got a new video coming out on the YouTube channel tomorrow about probably about 13-14 hours from now, because I usually release it around Friday lunchtime UK time. So I got a new video coming out about secondaries and about scoring points, and like with a bit of, again, like I've done a bit of analysis on the data from like tournaments to work out like what secondaries are actually scoring well in Nakmund. So that's coming out tomorrow. And you know, we're talking a little bit about Engage on All Fronts a minute ago. Engage on All Fronts is actually performing a lot poorer since the changes. I mean, it makes sense. They obviously made it harder, but if you actually see how many points it's scoring people now, for me, it's kind of making me think like, fuck, maybe I just need to stop. Like, don't consider taking Engage on All Fronts anymore. Like, it's not a high scoring secondary anymore, and in some ways, neither is Nakmund Data, right? Like, Nakmund Data got like a lot harder to do than Octarius Data, I guess. Octarius Data felt like, oh, it was one that you can just score 12 points in every game and be pretty happy. Or if you didn't score 12, it was at least like a guaranteed 8 every game, right? So yeah, a couple of interesting revelations coming in tomorrow's video. So if you do see it pop up in your timeline, please check it out. Crimson Jacket says, hey Commander and Squad, who's going to be the next victim this Monday coming up? It's going to be New Eldar on Monday, and probably I'm going to be the victim because I think Kev's going to run that new Webway gate where like basically it means Eldar can just pop out of the gate. They can pop out of the gate within like less than 9 inches away from you, so it's like super easy for them to make charges. I felt the same way, honestly, Xavier, or do you pronounce your name Javier? Probably Javier. I'm pretty bad at pronunciations, but yeah, I felt the same way. Like I was really attached to my Blade Guard veterans. God, I hate these Citadel pots. Look, every time you use them, what a waste of paint. Look at all this nonsense. Yeah, I was really attached to my Blade Guard. I used them an awful lot from used them for like a year and a half maybe every game. And at like some point I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, how many games am I going to spend CP on transhuman and these guys are just going to die and do nothing for me? It's a really full pot of paint. But pro tip, if you turn these lids inside out, any paint that gets stuck can just be peeled out. Look at all that shit. This is like a new pot of paint. What a waste of paint that is. Look at all that. Ugh. I know some people move all their Citadel paints into other paint bottles. I totally understand why. I just literally do not have the time to do it myself. That's just disgusting. It's just money down the drain, isn't it? actually a hard X, like Professor Xavier in the X-Men. All right, right on. I didn't know people pronounced it like that. Cool. Well, you win the prize for the coolest proper name tonight, I guess. I'm going to call you Professor X from now on. When you come in the chat, I'm going to be like, oh, look, it's Professor X. Which is pretty cool, because let's be face it, Patrick Stewart that plays Professor X is pretty cool. Do you have Adjudicator, Blood Angels Commander? You could use them to counter-attack first. I do have a Judicator. I struggle. I don't like to take lists that have more than 3 characters, right? Like I don't like to make it eat my enemy. Let me start again. I don't like to make lists that are easy for my enemy to pick like secondaries into. And one of the things, like, obviously, is not taking too many characters, and the Judicator is a character, and I usually am already running like 2 or 3 characters. So for me personally, I do like the Judicator. I have used him in 9th edition I've used him in winning lists, actually, like pretty strong winning lists. But as of late, I've not been running him. And maybe, you know, with all the changes to like other armies getting stronger and stuff, maybe there is something to be said about, like, maybe I should be considering using the Judicator again. But I've been using the Whirlwind a lot. So it would be a case of maybe dropping the Whirlwind, I think, because they kind of do the same thing, right? P.S. I love Terminators and Crusade, don't tell anyone. Alright, Reziel, your secret is safe. I don't play super competitive, but I'm running Death Company and a Storm Raven with either Librarian and Terminator armor or Death Company and Terminator armor. Not sure which would be better. I mean, both are good. Librarian lets you reroll. Sorry, Librarian could give you Unleash Rage or something and reroll of charges. Captain obviously gives you the option to reroll all your ones. I mean, sometimes it's hard to like justify which one would be better in a situation like that, because they both can bring quite a lot to the table. I think in that case it's really up to yourself. If your Death Company are dying a lot, then maybe the Librarian would be better, because you could give the Death Company the Shield of Sanguinius. Some people like to give Death Company Shield of Sanguinius so that they can also like run Refusal to Die on them, so they've got a good save and they've got a good feel no pain, and that actually can make them like quite a durable unit. So I guess it depends on like if you want them to be durable or if you want them to do more damage, maybe. But I mean, I guess they could be durable from Shield of Sanguinius, and you could also run Unleash Rage as well on them. So a Librarian with or Librarian with Death Company can certainly be good. It's not a bad idea, but obviously the Death Company Captain can be good as well. So it's hard for me to just say out and out which is best, dude. Both are good. Hey, good evening, Foz. I didn't mean for my comment in the Discord to be negative. No, I figure you guys like to troll me now and again. I can handle it. I'm a big enough man to be able to handle some sass. I know that I go on a lot about that. Well, I mean, that was the first solo tournament I've done since I came back to the hobby after like how many years was I away? Like I think I was playing at the end of 4th, because I definitely bought the Battle for Macragge box set, because you can see it over here. Can you? Oh, where is my Battle for Macragge? Dark Imperium, Necromunda, Indomitus, Deathstorm. You know what, maybe when I moved house, oh no, Battle for Macragge, it's up there at the top. It's out of shot, but it's definitely there. So what edition was Battle for Macragge? Was that the beginning of 4th? I think that was the beginning of 4th, right? It's hard for me to remember. So I quit. Like I stopped playing in 4th for a while. Like a good while, all the way through to like 8th. And that was the first solo tournament I've been to, because the tournament that I was at before was a team tournament. And then the first solo tournament, I got to the top table of the GT. And yeah, I've probably gone on about it too much. That's fine. But like I said, I do occasionally get some haters on my channel that say, like, you know, you don't know what you're doing. You're not good at Blood Angels. You know, those people do exist. So, like, I really, really, really wanted to win that GT, like, so badly. Because I felt like if I'd won the GT, then, you know, if someone comes on and decides to hate on me, which occasionally happens, I can be like, well, you know, I just won a GT, so, you know, F off, basically. So I put so much pressure on myself on that last game to basically try and win. And because I put so much pressure on myself, honestly, it's probably the worst game of 40k I've played in like 6 months. I just everything about that game I did terrible. And also there was the rolls were not with me at all. Like, I guess that's maybe like, you know how some people talk about like new model syndrome? You get some new models, the first time you play, they just get blown off the table, you never get to use them, and you're like, man, why did I even buy those models? It's always like a joke that we have when we play, that we're like new model syndromes. Anything that you've bought that's new, that you've just, or anything that you've just finished painting, like let's say I just finished all these Terminators and I'm like, man, my Terminators are so painted, the very next game they just do nothing. They'll just be absolutely trash. They'll either fail all their saves, or they'll fail all their charges, or they'll do both. So it was like the first time I was at the top table, I was already having a bad game, which can happen. So the only way I'm getting back into this game is if I have like a few turns of like clutch saves. You know, like I need like, I think I had like 7 saves to make on the Sanguinary Guard at 5 up. And you know, sometimes that can go both ways, right? Like you could roll, I've had it before where I had to do on stream one time against Andrew. I think I had to do 6 5-up saves on the Sanguinary Guard, and I passed 5 of them. And like that unit that he'd put all this time and effort in to try and take out the Sanguinary Guard are now just about to get crushed by the Sanguinary Guard because they only lost 1. Well, I had that at the tournament where I had to take like 7 5-up saves on the Sanguinary Guard, and I didn't make a single save. And like, I'm not blaming the dice, but what I'm trying to say is like, I was already on edge because I was playing badly, so like I needed a bit of luck, and I needed a bit of luck to have a chance, and I just got 0 luck, which is fine. I mean, like I said, it's the top table of a tournament. It's the first time I'd been back. It was the first time I got there. I put so much pressure on myself, and yeah, it was probably always going to happen, you know. So I just hope that I get to go to another top table in the next year or so, and this time like Lady Luck swings it round, and gives me, you know, like a couple of lucky saves at a top close game, and maybe a GT will be mine. We'll see. But I mean, you shouldn't be relying on luck. I was relying on luck because of bad placement, and because it was actually the first time I'd ever fought, or I think it was actually the first time I ever fought Grey Knights. I maybe fought them like once 10 years ago, but it's the first time I'd fought them in 9th. Or even 8th. I never fought them once in 8th. So, I mean, that didn't help either, right? Tezab says, evening all, what are you painting after the Terminators? Well, I'm probably going to be... I have 2 squads of Incursors that are not quite finished. So I may go back and just try and round those squads out. They do have like base colours on them, but they need a bit of love and a bit of shading. Yeah, probably my Incursors. I can't think of anything else that I'm in a huge rush to get painted right now. I mean, I got that one land speeder, but I'm probably still going to run the land speeder, but I think I'm kind of swaying a little bit. I think I'm kind of swaying away from trying to take engage on all fronts, because I actually don't. I think engage on all fronts is just too difficult now to score effectively. I may even move away from Nakban data as well, to be honest. Like, that is very, like, you got to put a lot of points and a lot of you're going to commit a lot now to score well in Nakban data as well, I feel like. So but yeah, my video tomorrow is all about secondaries. I've actually gone and got like a bunch of maths on like what secondaries are scoring well at different tournaments, and sort of hopefully broke it down so you guys can maybe use it to help you pick secondaries at the next time you're going to a tournament or something like else. I think you're a great player, but your playstyle is not fully optimized into what Blood Angels Codex strictly rewards in this era. You're making things perform despite that. Oh, thanks, Reziel. Yeah, I mean, like, I just play differently, I guess. I think it comes from, in second edition, you had tons of tactical marines and stuff, right? So when I used to play Blood Angels, I used to run like, I want to say like, my lists used to be, in second edition when I started, it used to be like a bunch of tactical marines, a bunch of terminators, 1 or 2 squads of Death Company. I think you might have only been able to run one of them for a while. But I guess, you know, the sort of counter-charge playstyle that I like to play has maybe stuck with me from like the older editions. And it's very different to what a lot of people play, I guess. You've almost got 10,000 subscribers, Foz says, not to mention the community you've helped develop for Blood Angels. You don't need to prove anything. That's very kind of you to say, yeah. I mean, it'll still rattle your cage, though, I guess, sometimes when someone's like, you know, someone's negative or someone, you know, yeah, I guess it can still rattle your cage, so, but no, that's very kind of you to say. Mike Reed is starting his Blood Angels army this weekend, and someone with a Japanese name, I think it's Japanese, it could be Korean, I'm not entirely sure, I can't read it obviously, says your Blood Angels are beautiful, bro. Thank you, man. These guys actually have a lot of work still to do on them, but they're starting to come together, I would say. I think maybe like a few more sessions and I'll be at the point where I can do some washing, and then they'll really start to look good. But until then, I mean, I still got a few more details to pick out, a few more base colors to get on. Can we get a video on movement for Blood Angels? I'm having trouble staying out of my opponent's kill range without losing. I'm going to start that again. Can we have a video on movement for Blood Angels? I'm having trouble staying out of my opponent's kill range without losing a turn of killing. Seems like alpha is the only option. What do you mean by alpha? Like alpha striking, or oh, is this another pot that's full of crap? Yes. All right. I did a video about the fight phase, which in turn had like a lot of stuff about movement, I guess. But yeah, I guess you were talking something slightly different, where you're almost talking about like how you get your units across the battlefield effectively, I guess, Terrence, right? Dracula says, you the man. You are the man, Dracula. Thank you so much. You're always, Dracula, you've been one of the kindest people on this channel ever since I started. Every video you come in with a little like devil horns hand thing and just say something like, you rock. Your support has been a lot, man. Thank you so much. Anti-Bashta Captain in Terminator armor took like a librarian with a power sword. I plan on painting him so you could either a librarian or a Death Company captain. I mean, that's pretty smart. You know, some people do. Some people obviously magnetize weapon arms and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty smart to make your characters look like they could fill more than one role, I guess. This isn't the cheapest hobby, I guess, and like, who knows with all these, with the state of the world right now, everything is getting more expensive, right? I often watch a podcast on YouTube called Trash Taste. They're anime YouTubers, but they just have fun. But they're like a goldmine of how to deal with YouTube. Alright, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if people are negative about me now, I just kind of... I think I just kind of leave it. A couple of times when people were negative recently, a few of my subscribers like jumped in and defended me, so I don't even know if I need to defend myself anymore. Alpha striking turn 1 and round 2 charging, I lose too many models to make the late turns. I mean, sometimes Terrence, hiding your Sanguinary Guard or hiding your models for like huge parts of the game can actually be okay. I mean, Blood Angels are strongest in turns 3 through 5, right? So like if you have to hide for 2 turns to have like a full strength army from turn 3 through 5, it's actually okay. I actually had a game against Andrew's Sisters of Battle one time, right? Where like my Sanguinary Guard hid in my deployment zone for the entire game. I think, trying to remember who went first in that game. I'm not going to be able to remember, but what I do remember is like, I knew Andrew was going to try and get into my deployment zone. I knew that that was something that he wanted to do. It was like for one of his secondaries, he needed to have units in my deployment zone. I think it must have been engaging all fronts he was doing. So I put like my full squad of Sanguinary Guard, I hid them in a piece of obscuring terrain in my deployment zone, and I left them there for the entire game. And by like turn 3 or 4, like I'm totally second guessing this because I'm like, shit, should I have left these guys? You know, like this is like damn near a 300 point squad. They're just chilling in my deployment zone. Is this the right call? Yeah, eventually, you know, like he came in, and then the full strength squad of Sanguinary Guard were there just to slaughter him. So there could be something to be said to playing Blood Angels quite patient in the current meta. Camille coming in with three somethings. I don't know what CHF is, but thank you so much, Camille. Good evening, Dirty Wizard. Thank you, my day is going well. Even better now that the super chats have started. Thank you for that. Shiba dog with sparkles in my eyes saying my hero. I appreciate it, Camille. You guys are very generous tonight. Very kind. I'm just glad that I'm hoping that at some point as well, like Games Workshop might even ask me my opinion. Like apparently, you know, like it's 10,000 subscribers when they talk to YouTubers. So maybe at 10,000 subscribers, if they ask me my opinion, I can be like, yeah, could you maybe have a look at like some of our models? We've got a 39% win rate. Last time I checked, that was pretty poor. I mean, we have almost the worst win rate in all of 9th at the moment. I guess not Iron Hands, Imperial Fists, they're the real losers at the moment. But yeah, we're not exactly up there, are we? Oh, CHF is Swiss francs. Yes, I remembered. Here's the problem. I only stream like at 10 o'clock at night when I've had like a long ass day, usually. And like, see, the thing that's really grinding my gears at the moment is like, my son will literally not let me sit down without crying. So like, you've had a long day at work, you know, you've come home, You gotta get the other kid ready for bed. You do all that. You know, like it's like 7:45 at night, maybe even 8 o'clock. I just want to sit down for like 5 minutes. The second you sit down, he's got like if you stand up and you're walking around, he's happy to be in your arms. But the second you sit down, he's like, how dare you sit down? I'm just gonna cry as loud as I bloody can. And you're like, oh my god, please, I just want to sit down for 5 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put a note next to my monitor. Swiss francs or C. Why CHF? Like, would it not just be SF? What does the CH stand for? Brent says, good question. Where do you find things to put in the little shields or the shoulders of Blade Guard veterans and others? Is that like a family crest or something? Where do you find things to put in the little shield or shoulders? What, you mean these things? Or what exactly is the question, Brent? New sculpts for Sanguinary Guard would be cool. I think Primaris Sanguinary Guard is what we want, right? I mean, new sculpts for the current ones would be fine, but I think what we really want to see is those Primaris Sanguinary Guards. It's kind of wild for how many people are primary Blood Angels players collectors to have such a win rate. I think it's a product of the Codex though, Troy. The Codex was like the first Codex released in 9th, and what was strange in that Codex felt like it felt like they were trying to balance that Codex. Like when that Codex came out, you know, they took away things like our 5-up in a 5-up feel no pain, the standard of sacrifice. They took that away. That was really strong. They took away our 3d6 charge. They took away our relic that prevented Overwatch. What else did they take away? Well, they put Astrath from like 110 points up to 150. So it felt like in our Codex they were really trying to balance things. Like, and at the time it felt okay, right? Because Necrons didn't really have a strong Codex when they got theirs either. So it felt like, okay, 9th edition is going to be a little bit more reined in, a little bit more sensible, a little bit less like, you know, just massive damage getting thrown out. And then like one Codex later, everything changed, where you got like, you literally had the Sisters of Battle with their Stormbolters that like pretty much guarantee 6 mortal wounds for 1 CP, you know. And I was like, wow, I wish Blood Angels had a stratagem that at 24 inches, you know, I guess it would be equivalent of like your Terminators with shooting, like, or the equivalent of like Sanguinary Guard being able to shoot their whatever it is, Angelus bolt guns, and for 1 CP every 6 on the hit roll or whatever is 2 mortal wounds, you know. Like it would just yeah, it's just, so that was, it started with the Sisters book, I feel like, in that like it just very quickly went from like, okay, things are going to be sort of balanced this edition, to like, and you know, do you guys remember when Mortarion came out and people were like, oh my god, Mortarion's unkillable, he's so strong, he's so powerful. Like now Mortarion's nothing. Like people almost maybe joke about like it's impossible for Death Guard to be good because Mortarion, like, you're almost damned if you take him, you're damned if you don't, because he's so expensive. Every paint pot I have apparently at the moment is just gonna have a big bit of extra paint inside it. Great. Yeah, so when Mortarion came out, people were losing their minds, you know, Mortarion's so strong, he's overpowered, whatever. Now it's like, Mortarion's nobody. When are we getting an updated Dante model? Dude's nearly as old as me. I mean, technically the dude's the oldest living Space Marine, right? I hope we get one before he... I hope we get one. I mean, like, he needs to just hurry up and cross over the Rubicon, doesn't he? And I was speaking to Kev, and you guys know Kev, he's a big lore guy. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the people that play on the Plastic Cragheads channel. And I was saying the very same thing to him. I was like, we need to get a Primaris Dante, Kev. And I want to have Primaris' Dante stats be similar to Trajan Valoris, because, oh my god, Trajan Valoris makes Dante look like a chump. He's just so strong in comparison. And he's cheaper as well. He's 5 points cheaper, which is, to me, it's like daylight robbery. It's a crime. But anyway, Kev was saying to me, he really thinks that like Dante is gonna be reborn into some sort of demi-Primarch. And I was like, really? Because I didn't think you would be, because considering how into the lore he is, I was like, I didn't think you would, you'd want some sort of other Primarch running about, like, because the Primarchs are obviously dead, and if you bring another Primarch in, do you weaken Sanguinius' sacrifice in a way? But like, so everybody's got their opinion. Like, some people think we'll get Primaris Dante, some people want a Primaris Dante, some people are actually happy with the Dante we've got. I think you guys that are happy are a bit delusioned, because he's really not as powerful as he should be. Good evening, Dino Shepherd. How you doing? Dirty Wizard. So I've ordered a Terax pattern termite, trying to build a list around that, packing 10 Death Company and a chapter champion and chaplain. I wonder, I've been thinking about the Terax as well. I wonder if it would be worth packing like a couple of company veterans in there. So like maybe like 6 Death Company, 2 company veterans, and like the couple of characters, right? Because that would give you potentially, if you're going to do Relentless Assault as a secondary, that gives you like 4 units for Relentless Assault. Sorry, 5, I guess, right? Because you have the Terax, the Death Company, the veterans, and then the 2 characters. So like straight away, turn 1, or I think the Terax would arrive turn 2, right? You're just putting 5 units into their deployment zone. And then you're basically saying to them, well, if you don't come and kill all these units, I'm just going to score 15 victory points from Relentless Assault, pretty much, right? I mean, it's still 4, I suppose, if you do your plan of the 6 Death Company, but a couple of Lightning Claws also means that if your characters fail the charges, it could be used to protect your characters, might help out a bit. It's worth thinking about. John Turner says he's late in tonight. I just wanted to say I loved that art game on Monday. Thanks, John. Yeah, that was a fun game. Brett got greedy though, really greedy. At the end of the game, there was at least, well, there was if he just charged my OBSEC Assault Marines, he would have killed them because he had 6 kilocans there. There's no way that the OBSEC Assault Marines would have survived, and he would have swung that objective 8 points towards him. Because I would have lost 4 and he would have won 8. He would have got another 4 points the following turn because he probably would have still held that objective. And so, you know, he basically just him getting greedy on that one charge there cost him like 12 points. And then he kind of got greedy on the other side as well. So although that game ended up being like 60-point win or something, because it was like what, 89 to 39, so a 50-point win. There's a 12-point swing there that he was too greedy on. Duncan calls it a tilting plate for your individual heraldry. Oh right, yeah. I mean, I imagine what Duncan calls it is correct, because I actually don't know. I know that these shoulder things here are called crux terminatuses. And if you read in the old books, there was a lot of lore about these. I believe they're part of... They contain a small part of the Emperor's original like battle armor, and that's what gives the Terminators their invulnerable save. But yeah, I guess like the labels and stuff, I guess if that's what Duncan calls them, then I would say that's probably what they're called. The Council of Blood and Bone really do want to seem to want Dante to take the risk. He's almost single-handedly holding Nihilus together. Hell, they don't even want him out of the campaign. Yeah, I mean, the last book basically said Dante was kind of dying though, right? Because they said like his wounds weren't healing anymore. So they didn't say in as many words he's dying, but if you say a character's wounds aren't healing, then it kind of implies he's dying, right? You know, if you have a wound that isn't healing and you're very, very old, I would guess you're sort of implying that he's dying. I'd rather Primaris Dante from the lore aspect of a pseudo Primarch Dante would cheapen Sanguinius or the Sanguinor. Oh, sorry, Sanguinor. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Everyone's got their 2 cents on what they would actually want to see. But I mean, I guess none of us really know. Games Workshop will do what's best for Games Workshop, be it a Primaris one. The thing is, I guess if they did do some sort of pseudo character, I think it would sell like a lot of models, especially the state Blood Angels are in the moment, right? Like, we're not strong at all, I feel like. So if you gave us like a character or something that's gonna make us feel really strong, like a Primaris pseudo Dante Primarch that gives all jump units within 12 inches +1 toughness and -1 to hit or something, like based on these other books, that wouldn't be far-fetched, right? Because all these other books are getting like crazy strong rules. If we got something like that, it would sell a lot of Dantes, I'm sure. Or you're right, Foz, they could keep Dante as firstborn and just give us some sort of new character, I don't want to say new Primarch, but a new Primaris captain or something? I want Dante revitalized, not reborn. Well, I mean, that's just the thing. It's going to be... Games Workshop are going to really struggle to please everybody. They're going to have to do something, I guess. But I think when I did a poll on the channel, it was pretty mixed. You know, everybody... The thing is, like I'm in the camp that, like, the Dante model is one of the first character models I ever had in 40k. Years and years and years ago, you know, like when I used to live with my parents when I was like a 15-year-old kid, and I'm almost 40 now. So like, I would just like something new at this point. But I get that everybody is going to have everyone's going to have their little opinion on what they would want, I guess, right? A jump Furioso like the 30k Dread for 40k would be cool. Is it a jump Furioso or is it a jump? It's not a Furioso, is it? It's like a Contemptor, right? A jump Contemptor? I could be a lot more on board with a jump Contemptor over a Furioso purely because the invulnerable save. I hate the fact that Furiosos don't have invulnerable saves. I feel like in their current meta, there's so many big multi-damage weapons with big AP. Like, not having an invulnerable save on like a 150-point Dreadnought just feels bad, man. If if he gets hit with something like, oh, here's a Tau broadside, they're just gonna one-shot him and you don't even get to roll a dice. Like, it's just dead, you know. Just you don't have any save against like the -4s of this world, right? And it feels a lot worse for your models to die if you don't, like, you know, even if you have a save on a 6, it feels better to at least get a chance to roll the save as opposed to just like, oh no, my 195-point Redemptor doesn't even get a chance to roll a save, you know? I don't like that, I guess. Six Death Company, 1 company champion, 3 company veterans, a chaplain and a lieutenant may be engaged on all fronts. Can you put 12 things in the Terrax? I thought it was only 10. 10 Fregs just says res sanguineous. Yeah, I mean, like, they still have some of his blood, right? Like, can they not just clone him or something? I mean, surely they've got clones in the 41st millennium. Because that's the cup that Corbolo carries around, right? Like, they got all his blood in the cup, or they got the last of his blood in the cup, and it's in, like, stasis, basically. Oh, don't drop the models. The 115-point Raider can save a Titan gun. Yeah, I mean, Professor X is calling it good night. Thanks for hanging out, Xavier. I appreciate it. I'll be back here. Well, I got a new tactics video coming out tomorrow on the channel, and then I'll be back on Saturday night. Well, I mean, I'm back on Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, right? Saturday night painting, Sunday night army lists, Monday night the game against Eldari. I'm going to try and leave myself open to whatever ways to play Blood Angels to win, but for now I am recommending that Calidus, at least as a test, seems like it can't hurt the newer armies. Oh, it has a capacity of 12. Okay. Interesting. I thought it was 10. I was thinking of getting a Terrax myself. I've seen other armies use them pretty effectively, and you know, in some ways I guess this is where this whole debate with the Terminators started, in that like I was finding it difficult to keep our units alive on the battlefield, so I went for Terminators over Blade Guards, just because Terminators can drop in on deep strike in the middle objective, whereas Blade Guards obviously have to walk there. And a Terrax drill is actually not a bad shout, in that like, and also if the Terrax makes a charge, it's horrendous. Its melee weapon is just so nasty, the Terrax. So I like Terrax drills. I think they're a cool model, and also I think they're scary. Plus they got like 5 melta guns on them as well, so you can't really... 5 melta guns is nice. The only guy cloning Primarchs is doing it for chaos, says Troy. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Blood Angels could really use some sort of new character or upgraded character or something. Will we see it this year? I don't know. I would like to, you know, like I would like to get like a refresh almost as big as like the Black Templars refresh, where they got like shitloads of, where they get like five characters. They got the new Crusader squad and everything. I guess it's hard to really say what we could or couldn't get. It's a 5-shot melta gun, yeah, and it's got Volkines in it as well. Volkites. I think the Volkites are my preferred choice than the Flamers. I guess if you're in close though, Flamers aren't a bad choice either. But I like Volkites. Just like the ability to occasionally deal out some mortal wounds here and there. I think it's nice. First game against New Tau tomorrow. Gonna rely on my Death Company and Volcon, lol. Gotta keep up my losing streak. Good luck, Bill. You gotta try and get them into combat as quickly as you can. You got to charge from concealed positions. Their Overwatch is horrendously good. What else you gotta do? If you've got a Whirlwind, you know, use that to help against some of the Overwatch. Or if you've got some transports, use that to maybe absorb some of the Overwatch as well. New Tau, yeah. If they have like a list that's got like 10 plus battle suits in it, it's just painful to play against. Anyone tried replacing 3 or 4 shields in a Vanguard veteran squad with 3 or 4 Infernal Pistols? Blood Angels Commander, do you think every model needs a shield? I don't think every model needs a shield, but I do think that Infernal Pistols are situational at best. Because you have to be basically dead close, right? 6 inches. You know, I run an Infernal Pistol in my Sanguinary Guard, and it's just one Infernal Pistol. But I honestly feel like over the course of the game, I'm lucky if I get to shoot it like more than if I get to shoot it more than once. I'm feeling kind of lucky. I'd rather the unit survived, which is what the shields will do for you. Infernal Pistols, obviously, you give up survivability, but like, I don't. know if you will get enough shots out of them to make it feel like it was worth it. I think that's where I stand on it. Can you even buy a Terax drill? Forge World have them. Well, they did a few months ago, like last time I looked. And these debates are the exact same debates from the end of 7th edition Blood Angels, and I didn't play at the end of 7th Blood Angels, to be honest. I came back at the beginning of 8th. David, what was the debate at the end of 7th for Blood Angels about? Oh, it was awful. So we have an empty seat on our next Grots episode. We do, but we haven't... Me and Tony haven't kind of worked out what we're doing. That's the tricky part. I'm calling it. Attack bites are finished. Thanks for the late night motivation. Good night. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Please think about following in the future. If you know, we're here every week. Or multiple times every week. Always here trying to put out some Blood Angels content. God, I doing this red. I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna be ready for putting some washes on these guys soon, honestly. How to beat invincible Death Stars, how to beat the Gladius, how to beat Riptides, how to beat Scatterbite spam. I remember one game in 7th, Elder forced me to make like 73 up saves just from Scatterbikes. I know when I came back at the beginning of 8th, I think it was, like, people were, like, there was stupid amounts of indirect fire in the game, like, you were just up against lists that were like 3 Thunderfire cannons and like 3 rapier cannons? Rapier... It's maybe not rapier cannons, rapier... Basically, they're like a Thunderfire cannon, they're rapier carrier, that's the one. Whereas like 2, it's just a indirect fire gun, gets a shitload of shots and it's like manned by like a couple of guys and it's like 50 points or something. So I remember playing Iron Hands and they just had like 3 Thunderfire cannons and like 3 rapier cannons all hidden and screened behind this one bit of obscuring terrain. And like I'm trying to get to it to obviously charge them. I'm just getting like you know, it's like death by 1,000 cuts, right? Yeah, 8th was when they made it straight up ignore line of sight. Yeah, and it's just death by like Thunderfire cannons used to like now they're like strength 4 no AP, but I think they were strength 4 minus 1 AP, and I think they were just a ridiculous number of shots. I can't remember how many shots it was. Was it like 43 or something? So like 8 shots at minus 1 AP, and pretty sure you could have them hitting on 2s and re-rolling 1s. Wasn't so much fun. I actually used Orbital Bombardment 3 CP to good effect. Instead of placing an opponent's model, I placed it between enemy and an objective. Opponent didn't move expensive models close to it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I never really thought about that. I suppose you could have used some sort of Orbital Bombardment on the Thunderfire cannons, but at 3 CP it's pretty expensive, right? And like, I don't know if it really I mean, it puts mortal wounds across the multiple targets, but like, I don't really know if it actually does that much killing, right? I mean, mortal wounds are handy, but if they're not killing things, then I don't know how useful it is. Yeah, no, I'm 100% sure that you can get them on Forge World. They sometimes come and go out of stock on Forge World, but you can usually get them. If something's no longer available in Forge World, they usually remove it, like, so you don't even see the buy page for it anymore, it seems like. So you just need to keep an eye on Forge World, and you can get a laser destroyer or whatever. 33 people watching, let's get some more love. I appreciate it. I mean, likes and comments are always appreciated. But yeah, if you see tomorrow's video about secondaries, please check it out. It's something different. Sometimes I try and make something different, like I don't know the YouTube algorithm all that well, so sometimes I just make videos because I think they'll be useful, as opposed to like I think they'll get lots of views. So I think tomorrow's video is going to be pretty useful if you're struggling a little bit to pick the best secondaries since the changes, then tomorrow should give you all the numbers and the math to help you just make the right decisions. And I think I'm actually gonna use tomorrow's video myself to try and make myself pick better secondaries. Oh, what was I doing here? Alright, cool, Rizzo. We could definitely talk about that. I guess we just need to see if when we film it can sync up with you being free. We usually film it around the same time it goes out. Maybe a little bit later, and it would be like next Thursday. Man, these terminators are taking me forever. I think I was gonna say, was this shield actually from the Assault Terminator box? I made these guys so many years ago, honestly. They were badly painted and I like just resprayed over the top of them. I had a lot of models painted badly when I was a kid, so sometimes I just decided to start over. Is there any hope to use Wrap and Trap to force Tau to burn CP? I mean, I did that a couple of weeks ago, David. I managed to trap like a broadside, so we'd have had to use like emergency desperate breakout, I guess, 2 CP, right? Tau can still shoot in combat. That's kind of the big change, I guess. And their shooting can still be totally deadly in combat as well, so I mean, if you can trap Tau, by all means you should be trying to trap them, right? Like there's almost no reason not to trap them, because if you don't trap them, they're just going to fall back and something else in the Tau army will probably just pick you off. So trapping them is definitely something that you want to try and do. Whether or not, I mean, like I said, they can still fire if it's broadsides or whatnot. I mean, like D3+3, well, every fail is a dead Terminator, right? Or a dead anything, I guess, not just Terminator, dead Marine, whatever. But yeah, when I played against Andrew's Tau, I purposely trapped one of his broadsides because I figured that, like, I just didn't want to get shot with my Terminators by all the other ones. So I really didn't want him to fall back. He had just enough CP maybe to fall back, but it would have burned like the last of his CP, so he decided to stay in combat, and I think I proceeded to kill him in combat, but not before. I think he killed a Terminator or something with you know, they're just shooting in combat rules. I guess the only thing that they can't shoot in combat obviously is the good old blast weapons, right? So you need to trap like fire warriors. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need a big squad if you're gonna try and trap something like fire warriors, I guess. I was thinking more like trapping like crisis suits or broadsides could be totally doable. Trapping fire warriors is gonna be tricky. There's a lot of models to trap. You're gonna, I mean, I guess if you got 2 squads that you can get in, maybe, but just like 1 5-man squad of guys, like, I don't think you're managing that. Tower flat, rough to fight. Deny them primary points. Yeah, I mean, tower just... I think tower will get hit with 10 or... I think all their units will go up 10 or 15%. Or I think broadsides will go up 10 or 15% points-wise. I think crisis suits will probably do the same. They're just too good right now. Vanguard veterans assemble and sprayed in red, and I think it's time to get started into infiltrators and cursors later tonight. Only 7:30 here. Oh, okay, so you must be... You must be on the East Coast, are you, Foz, somewhere? East Coast of America? Or... Yeah, I think East Coast is 4 or 5 hours behind. Marius asks, did we have a look at Pedro's Blood Angels podium finish list? I commented on the post earlier, so I would be able to find it and remember about it to look at home, basically. Have I looked at it at home? No. Maybe I'll get a chance to look at it this week, Marius, like this weekend, sorry. Is there any takeaways that you took away from it? Have you watched it? I did see that, that he'd finished on the podium with Blood Angels, which I guess we really haven't been seeing all that much. I mean, that could give me I could make a video on that at some point as well, I suppose. Don't know if I want to, because it might feel like I'm stepping on their toes or I'm stealing their content, though. I mean, it's different to make like a video of just some random person winning a tournament. It's maybe different if it's like another YouTuber has done it, because obviously, like, it's their list. You kind of, they'd want to make the content about it, right? I don't know. I mean, I could ask if I feel like it's worth it, I guess. I'm about halfway between Toronto and Detroit in one of the most southern parts of Canada. Okay, cool. Canada has about the same, if you're in southern Canada, then you're probably almost on the same, like, is it latitude? You're probably on like the same latitude as Scotland, because I think parts of Scotland are on like the same latitude as like Washington. Not like Washington DC, like the state Washington. I watched the chapter champion video, did John. The point cost for that model is just an auto-include for me now. 7 attacks at strength 8, minus 3 damage is just insane to miss out on. Which, how are you getting at strength 8? You giving him Imperium Sword or something? I noticed he took Blade Guard over Terminators. Do you know what? A lot of people prefer Blade Guard over Terminators, Marius. I only run Terminators because I like the fact that I don't need to burn CP on them, and the fact that you can ignore minus 2 AP if you get them in the right situation. I guess you ignore minus 1 as well by like de facto, and you can ignore minus 2. But yeah, I mean, I would expect most people are running Blade Guard still. Just maybe Blade Guard don't fit my style as well as I... Yeah, maybe just Blade Guard don't fit my style all that well. I've been struggling to get good value out of them for the best part of, let's say, 3 months or something. To a point where I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to try Terminators. And I've enjoyed the Terminators. Blade of Triumph. Blade of Triumph is only +3 strength, right? So it should just be strength 7. But you've said strength 8. Apparently you're in the same latitude as like northern Spain. Okay. Okay. God, I want to get rid... I want to... Every single pot I've opened tonight has this shit inside it. There we go. I'm gonna be honest, Blade Guard veterans never scared my Necrons much. I mean, Blade Guard get a lot of attacks. That's one thing that's good. That's probably... I mean, it's not just that. There's a lot that's good about Blade Guard, I think. You know, they're durable, they get to the middle of the board, they got that good invulnerable save, they get a lot of attacks, you can transhuman them. There's a lot that's good about Blade Guard, but I guess... Yeah, maybe they just... I just think that at the moment having more Thunderhammers is better, probably. More survivable Terminators plus the Thunderhammers suits me. But yeah, I mean, don't... If other people are getting to tournament podium finishes with Blade Guard, it shows that Blade Guard are strong. I don't think there was ever a debate whether they're strong or not. I just personally prefer Terminators at the moment. And do you know what? Maybe I'll come back round on Blade Guard at some point, but right now I'm very much in camp Terminator. Every time I play Blade Guard veterans, they never make it up the board. I end up using them to hold the home objective for one game, and they work for that, says Brent. Okay, so someone else has found the same issue with the Blade Guard. They don't... For me, they were just... You gotta remember, I play against a lot of cheese. You know, like, Andrew plays, like, the most cheesy, overpowered, broken, spammy lists he possibly can. You know, like, that list where it was, like, 15 of the same knights or something ridiculous like that. Or, like... Yeah, basically, 15 more dogs. So when you're coming up against stuff like that, and he's just like, those war dogs were a good example, and they're all minus 2 AP. So they're just like 2 damage, strength 6, minus 2. They're just ripping things like Blade Guard to pieces before they get anywhere near the enemy. And yeah, I mean, you know, you're not often going to play against lists like that in a normal meta, but one thing I do like about playing against Andrew is he does, you know, by playing with someone like that, like Andrew will even joke saying like he's a filthy meta chaser. Like Andrew's just trying to run the strongest thing he can, like almost like win at all costs. And in some ways playing against that probably helps me, right? Because it helps me because I'm like, oh my god, you know, this is just so much damage. How do I deal with that? I have to think outside the box, or I lose the games and stuff. Which probably helps me when I come to like tournaments and I play against regular people that don't go quite as ham on strategies like that. So I think finishing, I mean, the list we looked at a few weeks ago on the channel as well, the one that was like 6th place, it was running Blade Guard veterans as well, no Terminators. That list was not even running that many 3 damage weapons. So he got top 6 in a GT, and he didn't even, you know, like, it's almost like he didn't even care if the enemies had 3 damage weapons or not. He just went for it. Oh, Imperium Sword 2 to get the Strength 8. Okay, Imperium Sword 2. Yeah, that makes sense. I think the stuff Andrew brings against you is so consistent and often isn't fully versed in what it does. Yeah, I mean, that is true as well, Reziel. But I guess what he does do, which is useful for me, is he does bring things that are... You know, like, didn't he run that list one time where it was like 20 mortifiers? Like, and you know, like, you could end up at a tournament. Well, I mean, in fact, I did end up at the tournament. That GT that I was at, I ended up facing a list of Orc buggies, and I played Andrew's Orc buggies list like 3 times, and if I hadn't played Andrew's Orc buggy list 3 times, I would have 100% lost that game at that tournament, because that guy had like... He almost had like a mix of what Brett brought this week, where he had like the beast snaggers and stuff like that. But he also was backing up beast staggers with like, it was like 3 rugged trucks, 3 scrap jets, and 3 of the I forget the ones that can shock shock dragsters, something like that. So he had like 9 orc. He had 9 of those fast moving orc buggies that were all really good and were all arguably undercosted in terms of points, and then like a ton of beast snaggers in front of them. If I hadn't played Andrew's crazy broken bullshitty buggy list, then there's no way I would have beaten that, because I basically knew, like, okay, I need to get to the rocket trucks because their indirect fire is going to mow down my guys. I need to do this to deal with the scrap jets, you know. Oh, and I think he also had a couple of planes. I forget the name of the planes as well. The Daka jets, that's the one. Yibo says, hey, I'm playing with a friend who's using Armageddon Guard and I'm worried about my lack of Strength 9 options to deal with his Toughness 8 tanks. What's your go-to Toughness 8 tank killing option, both in close combat and in range? Thunder Hammers, because you'll wound them on 3s, because of our +1 to wound. So Thunder Hammers are good at killing Toughness 8 tanks. Multi-meltas are probably your next best bet. So Land Speeders with multi-meltas, attack bikes with multi-meltas. You could run a Contemptor Dreadnought with like a Cyclone missile launcher, maybe. Redemptor Dreadnought's not bad. The only thing about the Redemptor Dreadnought's plasma, which is Strength 9, is the number of shots is random, which can be a blessing and a curse, I guess. But yes, some people say hammers. Yeah, I think you're right, Reziel. Like, even if Andrew isn't firing on all cylinders, at least I'm learning stuff for armies that I'm learning about the most broken combinations that the enemies can run, I guess. And in some cases, I guess it actually really helped me. Like, I was basically going into a tournament game against that orc player, who I guess, like, he doesn't know me, I don't know him. He's probably looking at my list going, oh, Blood Angels, like, I've played those, you know, they've got no chance against me. And then, like, I just basically deploy smartly, so it's like, oh, none of your rocket trucks can actually shoot anything in turn 1, for example. You know, and it just like try and put them on the back foot or try and make them keep guessing. Now it's coming up to midnight and it's 1:45 here. I usually stop streaming around midnight, so if there's any final questions for tonight, you need to put them in chat in the next sort of 5 minutes or so. Combat is never boring. That makes sense. I went off my Terminators with hammers in 8th edition when they consistently disappointed me with damage output, but I should probably give them a go in 9th. There's two ways you can make hammers better. Yibbo. Run Quake Bolts, which gives a melee unit +1 to hit. So you can make your hammers hit on 3s, and then you can run Fury the First for 1 CP. So you can have those Thunder Hammers hit on 2s. So if you use those Terminators right and you pair them with the right stratagems, excuse me, you can have them hitting on 2s. So something to just keep in mind. Thanks, Sean. Maybe some Marines need some army-wide no AP, not just a chapter or anything. I mean, it would help a lot, right, Reziel, in terms of like trying to give us a little bit more balance with the Marines. I mean, I think that's why Black Templars are so strong. Bill says, do you play anything else? At the moment, Bill, I've been 100% focused on Blood Angels since I come back to the hobby about 2.5 years ago. I figure, like, you can't see it behind me right now, maybe if I move my head a little bit. Like, you can't see it, but I have a Star Wars Legion army. 2 actually. I've got Empire and Rebels, and I bought some of those which I want to continue to make out, but I've been focusing on 40k. But I do love Star Wars. Like 40k and Star Wars are my two, like, the IPs I like the most. So I do want to get round to painting my Star Wars stuff, but just off camera, can you see it there? Maybe you can see it up there. I got a box of Rubik rings for 1,000 Suns. I got a box of Zangors. I get a Demon Prince down here, and I've got what the fuck is this thing called again? I've got a Slaughter Brute, and like, it's all brand new on sprue, right? The Slaughter Brute. So I've got like maybe 600-700 points of 1,000 Suns, but I haven't done anything with them. I did fancy getting like Scarab Occults as well at some point, but yeah, I've just done nothing with them. I've been focusing on Blood Angels. Did I? Oh, I auto-corrected it to David Bowie, did I? I mean, I'm tired. Sorry, David. You got made famous. Dirty Wizard, I'll finish putting my list together and post it in the review channel. How long is the waiting list? For members, probably like 3 weeks, Dirty Wizard. Not that long at the moment. Non-members is still really long, but I mean, Gilliman still is a 3++, right? What's the Quake Bolts delivery method? Bring it on a vehicle or land speeder? It needs to either be on a character or a sergeant. There's only 2 things that can run Quake Bolts. So ideally you're looking for a sergeant or a character with a 2-up ballistic skill. So Tech Marine has a 2-up ballistic skill. I guess a captain has a 2-up ballistic skill. An eliminator sergeant has a 2-up ballistic skill. That'll make your Quake Bolts most reliable. Oh, the comment got auto-corrected to David Bowie. Okay. I was just tempted to start a clone army, but 40k and EOS, I don't think I can justify another game. Do you know what? The Star Wars Legion models are really cool, Bill. I'm going to paint them on stream at some point, honestly. But it's going to have to be like a way down the line yet, because like I probably still have like 5,000 to 8,000 of yeah, Quake Bolts on a Jump Librarian is good as well, because you get the free bolter. I guess you don't have to have that 2-up ballistic skill. It helps a little bit, but I guess having it on a mobile character like that is also good, right? Yeah, no, I've fully planned to paint my Star Wars Legion on stream at some point, but yeah, I've got like 5,000 Blood Angels to paint in the meantime, or 5,000 points, and I don't want to say I'm frustrated with the Blood Angels rules, but I am a little bit. Like, I am a little bit frustrated, I suppose, as a lot of people are, probably, with like our rules just being a little bit dated. So if I was going to go to a tournament, and I am going to go to a tournament in Q3 or Q4 this year, so as we get closer to Q3 or Q4, if Blood Angels are still like on a 30% win rate, then like, what did we say, Black Templars were on like a 49% win rate? Maybe I'll just buy the Black Templars Codex and I'll run my guys as red Black Templars, because there's a lot of, you know, that rule. Black Templars can basically make their entire army transhuman and give them a 5 up invulnerable save on all the same stuff, all the same models we get access to. So no wonder they're doing much better in tournaments, because in this edition, survivability can sort of be king, right? Having models that survive on objectives and stuff like that can sort of win you games or score you points. So we'll see. Love to see what the next round of codexes looks like, and I don't just want to go like in. I feel like I could probably do okay with Blood Angels at a tournament. I haven't decided. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, if we get stuck with our same rules for another 18 months, it might, you know, it might not be a bad shout for some people to pick up like another book and just run the same models in a different chapter. Like a 39% win rate. It's so strange. It's like, why have they not you know, in these quarterly balance updates, why aren't they looking at some of the Blood Angel stuff? I actually emailed Games Workshop, to be honest. I emailed like the FAQ, the 40k FAQ, told them who I am and asked them if someone was looking at our characters, because the win rate of Blood Angels right now is... There was a MetaWatch article like 2 weeks ago or something that said like our win rate is like 33%, like even lower than the win rate I shared from that website where it was like 39%. Like if at 33%, that literally gives us the lowest win rate in all of 40k. And we were we got the first codex in 9th. We were all super excited about that. How wrong were we? I consider Star Wars Legion if they had more Jedi options. I mean, Jedis are cool, but the fun of Legion isn't really the Jedi characters. There's a lot of non-Jedi options that are actually really fun. I actually wanted to... Like, I recently got the Mandalorians, because you can get like a Clan Ren, which are like a Mandalorian squad. I made them, but I haven't put any paint on them. I haven't even sprayed them. So yeah, I didn't get them that recently. Actually, I got them in Mold House, so I've had them unsprayed for 6 months. I only play a Star Wars game that would be very popular still if it weren't Star Wars. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes those big IPs can get overshadowed. The games can be overshadowed by the IP, right? Sanguinary Guard, Need and Invulnerable would make them so much better. Yeah, I mean, it would. I honestly think, like, if you look at the mask abilities that the Banshees just got for Eldar, like, if Sanguinary Guard came out now, you would really hope that they would have something similar, right? Mark of a good game is it would be popular despite the IP. Do you know what? I've enjoyed Star Wars Legion, Reziel. I think it's a decent game. I think there's a bit of a competitive scene for it emerging as well. I'm not 100% sure. I did see some things on Facebook, because for a while I was like following it on Facebook. But I don't really spend that much time on Facebook anymore, I guess. I kind of, when I have time, I either answer comments on YouTube or like try and hang out in Discord much, right? I don't feel I'm missing anything though. We deserve much bigger point changes for Blood Angels, especially all the overcosted characters. I think we did deserve better points changes. Necrons had to get a 13-point model reduced to 10. Yeah, so it's like a 30% drop. AP minus 3 weapons are the bane of Sanguinary Guard. I mean, maybe the Sanguinary... I was thinking about that as well. Like, maybe the Sanguinary Guard should just have a 1-up save. Like, would that fix things? So Sanguinary Guard could ignore minus 1 AP... Like, don't give them an invulnerable save, right? Because that's what we always hear. And I guess the problem probably with giving them an invulnerable save would make them, like, the same as Vanguard Veterans, right? Advance and Charge would help as well, says Not So Average Joe. Yeah, or even, you know, like... Black Templars get a thing called like Devout Push, which means like they can just, in the fight phase, if their models aren't engagement range, they can just push them forward 3 inches. I think it's 1 CP, you know, something like that. So it's like we can get more movement across the board. I thought like if they can't, you know, if Vanguard Veterans are a 2-up, 4-up, and you couldn't ever make Sanguinary Guards like 2-up, 4-up. But maybe the Sanguinary Guard should just be like a 1-up, you know? So they ignore minus 1 AP, minus 2. They're saving on 2s, right? No. Yeah, they ignore minus 1 AP. Minus 2, they're saving on 3s. Minus 3, they're saving on 4s. And then if you hit them with the minus 4, they're on 5s. Yeah, I mean, maybe that would be better. I mean, I know you don't often see models with a 1-up save as default. I mean, you can see it on like characters and stuff, but like maybe Sanguinary Guard need that, because otherwise at 32 points per model, when they die, it's so fucking costly, and they do just die. Any sort of special character will just kill them, you know, like just absolutely kill them, because, you know, like a special character with like 6 to 8 attacks usually end up having to make like 5 saves at minus 3. Well, I mean, 5 saves at minus 3 and a 5-up, you're saving 1 and 4 are dead, and that's half the squad, and then they don't have great leadership, so then you're taking a leadership test, so potentially another's dead. So if they have anything else coming in, a character, and even like shitty like Space Marines coming in or something, you're just losing so many models every turn. Sanguinary Guard are really difficult. High skill models, or high play skill cap, they're really difficult to play right now, I think. But yeah, so I'm going to kind of end the stream. I think we're at the point now where the base coats are almost done here, guys. I'm going to do I guess next up will be all these joints. Get the second coat on all those joints. Second coat on a couple of like trims, like I guess some of the parchment. But yeah, base coats on these Terminators are almost done. Maybe we'll manage to finish that on Saturday night. And I'll be back on Saturday night. So tomorrow you have new video coming out talking about what secondaries to pick. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it will be useful. And then Saturday night we'll be back, maybe trying to do a little bit more painting on these Terminators. I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. Thank you for that. It's always nice to just chat about things. I know it's tough to be a Blind Angel player right now. I guess we gotta hang tough, or we gotta buy another Space Marine Codex and run red. But I think I'm sure they're looking at it. Maybe if more of you guys want to email the website, you know, the 40k, the FAQ site that deals with rules, maybe if we get loads of people to email them and say like, hey, are you going to do something for us? That might help as well. A 1-up save is the way to go. Now we got to get you 10,000 subscribers so you can tell GW. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I will keep trying. They're -1 to hit in melee, Yibbo, but not at range. And often they get killed, and often as in range as in melee. So I actually don't think the -1 to hit makes them. It often doesn't help. It really, you'd be surprised at how often it doesn't help at all. But yeah, so I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Thanks again for watching. I will be back Saturday night, and please And please leave any comments or whatever on tomorrow's video. I'll appreciate it. -2 to hit. I don't know. I like the idea of a 1-up save. I think that seems like the best way you could balance them, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get Primaris Sanguigard with 3 wounds, and then maybe it'll all be mute. So, alright, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Thanks again for watching. Please hit subscribe or like or whatever, and I will catch you next time. By the blood are we made strong. Peace.